Dear students, in today's class, we are going to discuss the different function components and prototypes related to the functions. Let's first start with components of the functions. As we discussed previously, there are the three important components any function provides. Without those three components, the functions cannot be declared and the value cannot be passed or the function cannot be called from calling block to the called block. Number one component is a function parameter, number two is a function body, number three is a return value. Let me to clarify, function parameter means within the parenthesis which value you want to pass, that is known as your parameter or argument. If nothing is written, that is a empty parameter. Sometimes within the parenthesis it is written void, means nothing is passed. What is function body? Basically function definition, means the called part where the block of the statement or the code to be executed. What is return value? Return is a keyword or statement through which one value can be at a time returned from the called block to the calling block. Again I am repeating, within the function parenthesis, what is written, that is known as your parameter or argument. What is written within the two curly bracket in the called block known as function body, and the value that returns from called block to the calling block is done by the help of your keyword or the statement, that is known as your return. Let's explain one after another. First of all is function parameter. You see in the example, suppose foo is a function, user defined function, int is the return type, int a b means these are two parameter, means function parameter. If a only one integer is written, this is one function parameter. Is nothing is written, that is a void parameter. Hence a and b are known as function parameter. Function parameter is also known as function argument, are the values that are passed to a function from calling block to the called block. We can pass none, means the void. We can, if you are nothing is written, it is a void, or you can write it the void, means no argument is passed. We have to define the function name and its type in the function definition. Whatever the function name you are given and whatever the parameter you are passing, that you have to specify in its called block or in the definition part, because in function rule we have discussed the calling block and called block name is the same. What type of argument and how many argument you are passing, that type of argument and that number of argument to be received in the called block. Function name must be same, variable name may be same or different. Second one is function body as the component. What is the function body? Whatever the statement you write within the two curly bracket, this is known as your function body, means the set of code or the logic you want to implement in the definition part to be written here, which is known as your called function or the called module. Means int is the return type, who is the name of the function. If two argument is passed, two argument will be received. Then the calculation is made. Here the calculation is made a plus b as the sum and the value will be returned. Why the value is returned? Because return type is int and hence one of the integer value will be returned. Hence the return type is integer. If the character value is returned, the return type is character. If no value returns, the return type is void. And return is the keyword, the statement which can use to return one value at a time from called block to the calling block. Hence, it is written the statement between the open curly bracket and closed curly bracket is known as your function body, which is known as your definition part of the function. Then the third component is return value. Already I have told, by the help of the return, we can return one value at a time from called module to the calling module. Means caller means the calling part and the called means the called part where the function body to be executed. A function can only return a single value and which is optional. You may not return it if there is no return type. If no value is to be returned, the return type to be taken as void. If any value is returning, that data type will be specified. Return is a keyword is used to return the value from a function. Hence, all those three components we discuss, one is a return component, one is a function body, one is a function parameter. Then we move to the next one is a function prototype. Before moving to the function prototype, let us clarify few points. What is the advantage of user defined function? Already we have told the advantage of defining user defined function or any function is, one is to avoid the duplication of the code, means we have to declare the code once and we have to use in the several part in the same program or other program, means we avoid writing the same type of code again and again. Code to be written more quickly and be more readable, because the advantage of function gives rise to easy to understand, easy to debug and maintain for the future, means user friendliness. Code can be divided and conquered using function, because a big problem is divided into small module and each and every module is placed within a function, and each function's solution will provide the solution of a big problem. It is difficult to write the large amount of code within the main function as well as testing and debugging. As I told, if a set of code in a big amount or the number of thousands of lines you have to write, it is very difficult to understand and maintain. And if you divide this in the small module in decentralized way, so that it is easy to understand, easy to debug, easy to test and maintain for the future, and everybody understand easily. So a number of functions like printf, scanf as predefined is defined. Like this, we can define our function according to the requirement. Suppose there is addition, there is subtraction, there is multiplication, there is division. Instead of writing a single function, we have to write multiple functions, one for addition, one for multiplication, one for division, one for subtraction, so that it is easy for the user to handle the functions. Our own task can be divided into several subtasks by using the function, that reducing the overall complexity. Means instead of giving a big problem to a particular person, if that problem will be divided into submodule, if more than one person will take part in that problem will be easily solved. That is the benefit of the function. For example, when you use power or the square root like a predefined mathematical function in C, without knowing how it is implemented, one can hide its implemented detail with the function. Means how power function works, how square root function works, we don't know. It is defined in the header file. By knowing the syntax, we use it. Means we only use the calling part. The called part will be called, which is developed at the time of manufacturing of the C program, means the mathematical functions. Means we call the function, we get the result. With little or no modification, functions can be developed in the program, which can be used in another program, reducing the development time. That I have told. The main advantage of function is reusability, means write once, run many in the same program or in the different program. So why different functions has been defined in the header file, according to the user requirement, user call it in the several program, means which reduces the time by without writing the same type of code number of times. These are the main benefit or advantage of a user defined function. Next comes to function prototype. As I previously discussed, how the value passed, how the value returned, that has been represented by the signature of the function, that is known as your function prototype. Means function prototype is the signature of the function, how the value passed and how the value will return. On basis of that, function prototype are classified into 4 types: without argument, without return, without argument, with return, with argument, without return, with argument, with return. Few function prototype we are discussing today. The rest we will be discussing in the next class. First is without argument, without return, means no value will pass, no value will return from called block to the calling block. Let's see. Pass function, return, it's a calling function. As I have told, where the semicolon is that is a calling, where there is no semicolon, it is a called. It is a user defined function. It is searching for the called block. Pass is return. Function name means both the modules same. No value to be returned, hence the return type is void, and hence in the called block there is no semicolon. The command line is written, it is a called block to no. The block of code execute hello to you, means if this calling function will call, the called function will come, and hence the value is executed, but no value is returned from called block to the calling block, and hence it is without argument, without return. We will be running in the last all at a time. Next is without argument with return, means no argument is passed but the value returns. See here, pass is a user defined function. We pass the pass function, no argument is passed, hence no argument it will receive, but return type is integer. Why? But the argument to be returned. Suppose we return 100, 100 will be returned to this position and stored in y. We are accessing y, means we are accessing 100, means no argument is passed but the value returns, and hence it is known as without argument with return. If this program execute, the 100 will display. we have to run without argument, without return, without argument, with return, and let moves to your online compiler and run this code of two different prototype. First I am running the recent one without argument with return. I have written pass function returning the value. See the program is run or not? Yes, the program run and the result will be evaluated. Let's see. Just I am again executing it. Just suppose I am just refreshing it, then I am running. Just I am refreshing the online editor, because before it is loaded, sometimes it is not compiled properly, and hence again I am refreshing it, then I try to run this code. Okay, I am moving here and I try to run it. See, if I run the program, the result will be outputted as return value is 100. The result will be 100. If I want to run the second program, I have made it in the comment, just I am removing it, and then I have to run it without argument, without return, means the value function call no value return. If I want to run it, just you run it and you will be getting the result, that is your hello to you. Means two prototype what we want to discuss, that I have completed without argument, without return, without argument, with return. Other two prototypes, that is here with argument, without return, and with argument, with return, that will be discussed in the next class. And in the next class we are supposed to complete the function prototype, followed by the recursion of the function will be starting. I think today's class is very essential to you, very important to you. You understand. If having any doubt, please make the comments. If you did not subscribe previously, kind subscribe the channel. And in the next class, we have to discuss the rest of the function prototype and recursion. Thank you. See you in the next class.